Hello students, today you're going to take Cornell notes on levels of organization. Go ahead and take out your notebook and then copy what you see. If I need you to draw something, then I'll tell you. But Cornell notes are the ones you will make the questions on the left, and then a summary and an advanced question, just like we do in class all the time. All right, let's begin. So humans are multicellular, and there's more organisms that are multicellular. So all multicellular organisms, remember that's anything with more than one cell, can be organized into one of four levels. The smallest level is the cell level, tissue level, organ level, and the organ system level. Go ahead and write that down. Let's look at some pictures, and if it's going too fast, you can pause it or rewind the video. So these little bubbles are cells. This happens to be a plant cell. And then these cells, they work together in a team. When they have a job that they do specifically as a team, they're called a tissue. So this is a type of tissue right here. Oops, too far. In a human, there are four main types of tissue. There's the nervous tissue, it looks like little spider webs. Epithelial tissue usually lines the inside of our organs. Connective tissue, it helps kind of connect one organ to another, for example, the skeleton to the muscles and so on. And then muscle tissue. And of course, muscle tissue helps us move. It can also help our food move through our bodies. But humans have mostly four main types of tissue. So again, tissues are made of different kinds of cells, like these. Plants have three major kinds of tissue. The first kind of tissue is called ground tissue, and then transport tissue. The ground tissue usually is more for support for the plant. The transport tissue transports water and nutrients. This is like a vein, like where your blood goes. Well, this is kind of like where the nutrients go in a plant, called transport. And then the protective tissue protects the rest of the internals of the plant. So humans, we have four. Mostly plants have three. Okay, let's go back to first idea. Go ahead and make a question for one. I actually usually use the first one, so you can just copy this. And then for the rest of them, you're supposed to make your own. For number one, you can say, how many levels of organization are there? Again, how many levels of organization are there? Okay, moving on to number two. Let's talk about tissue. Tissues are groups of cells that have a specific job. As I showed you in that picture, for example, muscle tissue. Muscle tissue has a job of moving you around, and moving food inside of you around so that it can be broken down. So that's an example of a kind of tissue. It's just cells that are similar, like this one right here, and they work together. Go ahead and think of a question for two. Pause the video if you need a minute, and then move on to three. All right, number three, organ. An organ is a group of different kinds of tissues that have a job. Let's see if we can look at a picture. So here's the heart. The heart is considered an organ. So a heart is made of different kinds of tissues. So I can see on the outside of the heart here, here's some muscle tissue that helps the heart beat. But maybe in here there'll be connective tissue connecting the muscle to the different parts of the heart, and so on. So organs have different kinds of tissue that help them work together. So a cell makes up tissues, and tissues make up organs. A question, sorry, one more point about this. An example of an organ would be a heart, just like I just showed you in that picture. Go ahead and come up with a question for three, and then let's move on to the last one, number four. An organ system. An organ system is a group of different organs that have a specific job. For example, the cardiovascular system. Okay, let's go ahead and look at that. You can pause it now, or you can just let me explain and then go back to finishing it. Rewind it if you need to. So let's look at this. So here's an organ system, the circulatory system, or also known as the cardiovascular system. The cardiovascular system is made of different organs like your arteries and your veins and your heart. So different kinds of organs make up the system. So cells make up tissues, tissue makes up organs, and different organs make up a whole system. Okay, go ahead and come up with a question for four, make your summary and advanced question. There's nothing to draw unless you want to sketch this so you can remember it, but I'm going to make it optional. So go ahead and sketch this if you want as an optional extra part to your notes. If you don't want to, that's totally fine, and then move on to the next step. Have a good day.